How's it going, Smashers? I'm DatSmashBro and welcome to the Moveset Ideas series. With each new installment of Smash Brothers, there's a lot of new combatants for everyone to enjoy. For this series, I do moveset creations and predictions for potential newcomers. And for this video, we will be looking over a character who is a robotic engineering scientist with an IQ of 300, known as Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik. Dr. Robotnik, better known as Dr. Eggman, is the main arch-nemesis of Sonic in the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. He debuted in the first game on June 23, 1991, on the Sega Genesis. Created and designed by Naoto Oshima, currently voiced by Mike Pollock, and portrayed in the two live-action films by the one and only Jim Carrey. His main ambition is to take over the world to create Eggman Land. But however, Sonic and Friends foils his whole scheme in every attempt. It seems like he did manage to get a good glimpse of his goal in Sonic Unleashed though. Since his inception, he easily became one of the most popular video game villains of all time, and managed to make other appearances outside of gaming like in Disney's Wreck-It Ralph film. Although his only appearance in Smash is his trophy and a spirit, the question is this: what if Dr. Eggman was converted into a playable fighter in Smash? I've managed to put together an entire move set for him. Me and a lot of other people did, but this is my version of it to clear things up. I've also made an illustration of it all so people can have a better understanding on how the character's fighting style can perform in the game. Disclaimer: what you are about to see is not an official move set by the Smash developers or Sakurai's company. This was made for fun and speculations. While I did made this to be as accurate as possible, the whole moveset could be changed if a character were to be included in future installments. So folks, without further ado, let's invent the moveset of Dr. Eggman. When I was in the pre-production stage of his moveset, I was originally going to have Eggman uses the robotic arms from Sega Superstars Tennis, in which the arms could have different blasters and mechanics to each of them. But I've decided to scrap that idea when I came across him in Sonic the Fighters. So I went with the regular idea that most people have with him being inside of his egg pod. The model I'm using here is his classic look, so I don't want anyone to say that I've clickbaited. Anyways, he will alter the egg pod with different weapons he can use for attacks, in which the robotic arms would be his base attack. On his size, the pod would be large, making him into the heavy-weighted fighters, due to it being metal. The speed would be on the same level as Bowser Jr.'s speed. Also, the pod would be hovering couple inches from the ground. For his jab attack, he throws two hook attacks, and then a straight punch at the end. This is his standard combo attack that can knock back and potentially launch fighters if at a high percentage. His forward tilt is him swinging a saw blade in front of him. This attack can KO the fighter at a high percentage as well. It'll come out a little slower than his jab attack because it is a bit stronger. The up tilt is him performing an uppercut attack. On low percentage, this move can be used for combo starters, and on high percentage, it can be a KO option attack. The swing could also come out a bit slower than the jab attacks as well. The downward tilt is Eggman doing a chop attack. He will lower the pod onto the ground in this move. This attack has a low knockback effect, because you can spam it out like Wario's down tilt attack. You can rack up on the damage percentage with this move. Now that we've gotten through his simple attacks, let's go up to his aerial moves. His aerial attacks consist of him using attacks that are references to his boss battles in the classic Sonic games. For his neutral air, he uses the metal orbs to rotate around him. This move comes from the Metropolis Zone boss battle in the second game. The attack can have a multi-hit effect on it. However, it won't be able to KO the fighter. This is more likely used for combos. The F-air attack could be him thrusting a drill in front of him. This move also has a multi-hit effect, but unlike the neutral air, the attack can KO the fighter at a high percentage. For the back air attack, he uses the very first weapon he ever uses in the Sonic games, the Wrecking Ball. Usually, it swings below him in a pendulum-like pattern, but in Smash, he swings it behind him. This is Eggman's strongest aerial attack. It has high damage and a launch power that can easily KO the other fighters. It will come out slow though, so you'll have to time it correctly. For the up air attack, he uses the saw blade again, but this time he thrust it above him. This move could also have a multi-hit effect and high launch power. And for the down air attack, he uses his fingers. For the D-air attack, he uses the Spike Needle attack. This move comes from the first Sonic game as well, in which Eggman dropped downward with a Spike Needle below him. In Smash Brothers, he would launch downward a bit faster. This move could have a spike effect if performed before he drops down. Otherwise, it'll knock back the opponents regularly. Dr. Eggman's dash attack is once again using the saw blade. The same effects and the same outcome. Now that we've finished his aerials, let's turn things up with his smash attacks. His 3 smash attacks are also references to his classic boss battle attacks. One of the attacks makes another comeback, and I promise you it is not the saw blades. For his forward smash attack, he uses a giant hammer. This is the weapon he uses in the Aquatic Ruin Zone boss battle in Sonic 2. This is his strongest attack in the entire moveset. It is the equivalent of using King DDD's forward smash attack, but a little bit stronger. Eggman does slams the hammer down slowly, but however, it can have armor properties and a high damage and launch power that can KO the fighters. This move can instantly break shields if fully charged. For his up smash, he uses 2 drills above him. This is the attack that Eggman uses in the Mystic Cave Zone boss battle. In Smash, he uses both drills in a slanted position. This move has a multi-hit effect. It can launch and KO the fighter at a high percentage. For the Doc's down smash, this is where the Wrecking Ball makes a second appearance. But for this move, he swings the ball around him at a lower angle. Just like his B-air attack, it has a high launch and damage power. This attack could potentially break shields as well. So, his smash attacks are considered to be his strongest attacks. I've ranked the smash attacks from 1st to 3rd place in their power, so you'll know what move is stronger than the other move. Okay now folks, let's head on over to his special attacks. Dr. Eggman's special attacks are also references of him attacking Sonic and friends. I did make at least one of them an original attack. For his neutral special, he uses his missiles attack. This move is a charge-up attack, and you can store it to use later on at any time. With the missiles, he can fire up to 5 of them at the same time, 4 of them being small, and the 5th one being large. These missiles aren't going to fire in just any direction, they will home to the nearest fighter or the only opponent on the stage. This attack at full charge has a multi-hit effect. The 4 small missiles would have a knockback effect, while the large missile would have a launch power effect. You could use this attack as a finisher. Also, the missiles can be reflected back to Eggman from other fighters who have a reflecting attack or move like Fox, Falco, Wolf, Pit, etc. Eggman's side special is him firing a laser beam in front of him. This attack has a gimmick to it. When you use this move at any time, you won't be able to fire it again until it fully charges back up, because it uses a lot of power to fire. This move does reaches out across the stage, so you won't be able to reflect this attack. Blocking would break the shield, and countering this move would just break through the opponent's counter. The only way to avoid this move is simply dodging it. The charging time can be up to at least 30 seconds of in-game time to be fully charged. If you try to use this move while charging, it'll reset back to 0 seconds. So, use this move wisely. For his recovery, he rockets himself into the air. He can travel up at a great altitude until he runs out of fuel and goes into a free fall state. In comparison, this is like using Rob's recovery. The flame at the bottom can damage any opponent that tries to attack him from below. You can cancel this move at any time, so in case an opponent does approaches you from an angle or position they have an advantage from. Because in this state, you are vulnerable. You won't be able to cancel out of it into an aerial attack to defend yourself. So be careful. For the down special attack, he shoots out a badnik. The badniks are robotic enemies from the Sonic games that Eggman creates to be obstacles for Sonic. There are innocent animals imprisoned inside these bots. The badniks in Smash can move around the stage at free will. They will attack any opponents that they come across or the other fighters comes near. The badniks can last up to 10 seconds until they explode. Another way for them to be destroyed if the other fighters attack it. It'll only take 1 hit for them to be destroyed. If attacked by the fighters, it won't explode. But uninterrupted, it will. On the screen, I have the motor bug. Other badniks can be shot out at random. The other badniks he can use are Buzz Bomber, Crabmeat, Caterkiller, Valkyrie, Nebula, Snail Blaster, Spinner, and the Egg Pawns. 1 out of 50 chances, he can shoot out an Agrobo, in which it flies around the stage and shoots the opponents. This is an important detail I'm about to say. With this special, you can only have one Badnik out on the stage. If you were to use another one, the current Badnik has to be removed from the battlefield. And then you can use this move again at any time. Alright, now, let's go on to his grab attacks. His forward throw is him, once again for the 4th time, using the saw blade attack. Look, I know there are other ways for him to attack, but I want him to use this attack as a forward throw. So, my bad. It is just like the other saw blade attacks. Nothing more, nothing less. The back throw is Eggman throwing the opponent behind him and blasting the opponent in the air. The up throw is him performing an uppercut just like his up tilt attack. For his down throw, he lifts the fighter into the air and drops the wrecking ball on the opponent into the ground. With this move at a low percentage, it can have a pop-up effect in which you can follow up with a neutral, down, or fair attack as a combo. At high percentage, it'll KO the fighter. All 4 of his throw attacks can KO the fighter at a high percentage, just in case if people want to know. Now that we are done with his grab attacks, let's go over to his final smash. For Dr. Eggman's final smash, he has a lot of different robots and options he can use. But the only one that'll make sense for him is the one and only Death Egg Robot. It can be a cut scene of Eggman pushing a big red button to summon it. It can launch a lot of powerful homing missiles at the stage and top it off with a powerful beam. At high percentage, this will KO the fighters. If it wasn't for the Death Egg Robot, I would have gone with the Egg Dragoon. For his stage, it can be the Egg Fleet. These are flying battleships that Eggman created. The players can be on a simple platform that can travel to different battleships, just like the Halberd stage in Brawl. These ships can have guns, cannons, and other robots for the fighters to dodge. In some parts of the stage, robots like Metal Sonic and E123 Omega can make cameos in the background. So folks, what do you think? Pretty interesting, huh? That's all I have for the moveset of Dr. Eggman. If you have any thoughts or anything you would like to add to this, make sure to put it in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share, and turn on notifications. If interested, you can check out my previous moveset videos I did on this channel. Thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next moveset. Adios.